In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel were the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said he would send plagues upon the earth before he frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. Shalom. Shalom, Hebrew. Shalom. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The I.S.U.P.K. today is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the rank and the authority to be the leader of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans at this time. I want to say Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shai Barakatam to the brothers, Yahweh Shama, Ailatan Basham, Yahweh Shai to the sisters. Welcome to our Wednesday evening law class. All right, topic today. We must love our neighbor. Stop rebelling against the I.S.U.P.K. and keep our vows. All right, we're still in, still with David. The time of David, the king over the Israelites, was a pivotal time. It was a pivotal time in our history. Well, just as how this last 400 years here under this oppressor has been a pivotal time in our history as well. But we trod on. All right, we must love our neighbor. Why we need to love our neighbor? Because it's a commandment.
God.
It's not a choice. Or I do it if I want to do it. No. We were commanded to love each other. And this is one of the things that Christians don't understand. You know, I mean, this is probably why they talk about laws are done away with. Because they don't want to know that they are commanded to love each other. They want to believe that they love each other by choice. And it ain't so.
Right.
All right. I have a lot of scriptures I want to. You still got it?
Yeah.
Want some lime, man. You have no lime.
Yeah, I have lime.
All right. When I finish, get some lime and salt.
Gone, sir.
2 Samuel's.
Canada one can.
Book of 2 Samuel's 19. chapter 19.
Canada one can. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 1. And it was told Joab, behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom. Verse 2.
All right, now, hold on.
Gone.
It's raining down here, so it's gonna be, it might be a little, there might be some interference with the broadcast.
Okay.
All right. All right, so we're still on David. Absalom being killed now, and David in mourning. But Joab come to him and tell him, brethren, cut out this thing about the people and waiting on them leader, you know. What you gonna do? What? You would be happy if you die, if all of us died and Absalom was still alive? All right, so it was told Joab, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom. Verse 2.
Canada one can, verse 2. And the victory that day was turned into mourning unto all the people. For the people heard say that day how the king was grieved for his son.
Right. So it was a victory for David, but David wanted to regain his throne, but keep Absalom alive. But you know, is sometimes it don't go that way. Can't have it both ways. So it happened that Absalom died. He's in mourning. So even though he win, because Absalom tried to overthrow him. So even though he regained the Jerusalem from Absalom, the fact that Absalom died, he was crying. Or better yet, mourn. He was in mourning. So the people, you know, start wondering, you know, what should we do? Should we help him mourn, or should we be celebrating a victory? He was wondering. All right, verse 3.
Canada one can, verse 3. And the people got them by stealth that day into the city, as people being ashamed steal away when they flee in battle.
All right, you know, well, we know what stealth mean.
Okay.
Can't search for stealth. What? Let us see what it means.
Canada one can.
Yeah, one. Look for the Bible dictionary in that box.
Canada one can. Stealth, cautious and surreptitious action or movement.
Cautious or
Surreptitious action or movement.
Or in other words, they were moving quietly. You know, in other words, they didn't. It says the people got them by stealth that day into the city. So in other words, they come in the city without any shouting or making any noise, because they understand the king was mourning. So you know, then take time come in, as people being ashamed steal away when they flee in battle. So the people them feel away if you know that boy, we regain the city, but the king is in mourning. All right, continue.
Canada one can. Verse 4. But the king covered his face, and the king cried with a loud voice, "O my son Absalom, O Absalom, my son, my son."
Right. Mourning, my son Absalom, in a loud voice. So all the people know what happened. That boy Absalom was killed. So there were how would I put it now? Somewhat ashamed. You know, the king is mourning for the son, and then you're going to jump up and yes, the man who tried to overthrow the king died.
Okay.
So the best thing you do is keep quiet. Continue.
Canada 1 verse 5. And Joab came into the house to the king and said, Thou hast shamed this day the faces of all thy servants, which this day have saved thy life, and the lives of thy sons, and of thy daughters, and the lives of thy wives, and the lives of thy concubines.
Right, so Joab now start telling him, say, boy, I shame the people now, you know, man. Right? You have shamed this day the faces of all of your servants who are now rejoicing for you, which this day have saved thy life and the lives of your son and of your daughters and your wife. And you know, the warriors, you're shaming the warriors, man.
God.
Verse 6.
Canada 1 verse 6. In that thou lovest thine enemies and hatest thy friends. For thou hast declared this day that thou regardest neither princes nor servants. For this day I perceive that if Absalom had lived and all we had died this day, then it had pleased thee well.
Right. So this is what the people ever wonder now. Wait, so if we had died and Absalom had lived, the king would not be mourning.
Right.
That's the way that's a Joab, but Joab was the only one who could really tell him that to him face. The others couldn't be so bold. They had to just, you know, be quiet. But Absalom took it to him and let him know that no, you can't be doing this. Continue.
Canada 1 verse 7. Now therefore arise, go forth, and speak comfortably unto thy servants. For I swear by the Lord, if thou go not forth, there will not tarry one with thee this night. And that will be worse unto thee than all the evil that befell thee from thy youth until now.
Right. So I say, you don't go out there now and you make those people walk away. That'll go walk away from you. That's gonna be worse than all the evils that you have from your youth come until now, you know.
Okay.
So you better come and talk to the people. All right. Verse 8.
Canada 1 verse 8. Then the king arose and sat in the gate, and they told unto all the people, saying, Behold, the king does sit in the gate. And all the people came before the king, for Israel had fled every man to his tent.
All right, so, and all the people came before the king, for Israel had fled every man to his tent. All right, so, right, see, everybody, when they're coming to the city and they realize the king is in mourning for that which has befell his son. Everybody just move. So, especially you know that you were also in the battle. They just move. But now they hear that the king is sitting in the gate, awaiting his servants to come and acknowledge him. Then, you know, they just come and pay homage to the king. Verse 9.
Canada 1 Con, verse 9. And all the people were at strife throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, the king save us out of the hand of our enemies, and he deliver us out of the hand of the Philistines. And now he is fled out of the land for Absalom.
All the people were at strife throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, the king saved us out of the hand of our enemies, and he delivered us out of the hand of the Philistines, and now he is fled out of the land for Absalom. All right. So that was what they were saying. So, boy, this man gave us such great victory over our enemies and things, but now his son run him out of the land.
God.
All right. Verse 10.
Canada 1 Con, verse 10. And Absalom, whom we anointed over us, is dead in battle. Now, therefore, why speak ye not a word of bringing the king back?
Right. Why don't verse 10. Absalom, whom we anoint over us, is dead in battle. Now, therefore, why speak ye not a word of bringing the king back? So, right. So, this is the thing, you know. You're only king when people are not, when the people acknowledge you as their king.
God.
Without the people acknowledging you as king over them, you know, who you going to be king over? So they are saying, now we went and anoint Absalom over us, and now Absalom dead and the king is back. But nobody now talk about bringing back the king. Verse 11.
Canada 1 Con, verse 11. And King David sent to Zadok and to Abiathar the priest, saying, speak unto the elders of Judah, saying, why are ye the last to bring the king back to his house, seeing the speech of all Israel is come to the king, even to his house?
Why are ye the last to bring back the king to his house, seeing the speech of all Israel is come to the king? Right. So, in other words, all the other tribes come, but Judah not there. So that's why to ask the priests them to go and speak to the elders of Judah. Okay. So how comes you not here and all Israel are here? Verse 12.
Canada 1 Con, verse 12. Ye are my brethren, ye are my bones and my flesh. Wherefore then are ye the last to bring back the king?
I'm a Judite, right?
Okay.
You should be the first here. But you see, in a way, it's his fault because what? He was the people saw him in mourning. So
God.
what? You go before the king smiling about the thing that he's mourning over. Best if you stay home. All right, so he's saying now, you are my brethren, you are my bones, you are my flesh. Why are you the last to come and pay homage to the king? 13.
Canada 1 Con, verse 30. And say ye to Amasa, art thou not of my bone and of my flesh? God do so to me, and more also, if thou be not captain of the host before me continually in the room of Joab.
Right, this is Amasa. Amasa was some relative to Joab, I think. 14.
Canada 1 Con, verse 14. And he bowed the heart of all the men of Judah, even as the heart of one man, so that they sent this word unto the king, return thou and all thy servants.
Right. So after they went and speak to the elders and thing now, you know, they get what the heart of the people. And the people spoke as one man and said, come back, man, return, you and all your servants. 15.
Canada 1 Con, verse 15. So the king returned and came to Jordan, and Judah came to Gilgal to go to meet the king to conduct the king over Jordan.
To conduct, okay. So now he's going to meet the rest of Israel across the Jordan. Oh, no, over the Jordan, that would be meeting Judah. He was going to meet the rest of Judah. Verse 16.
Canada 1 Con, verse 16. And Shimei, the son of Jerah, a Benjamite, which was of Baharim, hasted and came down with the men of Judah to meet King David.
All right. So, right. So he's a Benjamite, but he came down with the Judites to meet the king. 17.
Canada 1 Con, verse 17. And there were 1,000 men of Benjamin with him, and Ziba, the servant of the house of Saul, and his 15 sons and his 20 servants with him, and they went over Jordan before the king.
Ziba is the one who David tells, take all that belongs to Ishbosheth and to yourself.
Con.
18.
Canada 1 Con, verse 18. And there went over a ferry boat to carry over the king's household, and to do what he thought good. And Shimei, the son of Jerah, fell down before the king as he was come over Jordan.
Shimei, the son of Jerah. Right, so ferry a big thing these days, you know. In those cities that have huge rivers, we used to have ferry downtown from downtown to Port Royal. You can take a ferry rather than just drive all the way around. You can take a ferry across the waters. Easy ride. But not in Jamaica again. But it's basically just a boat that you take from one point of the city to the next, and one point of the country to the next. All right, go on.
Canada 1 Con, verse 19. And said unto the king, let not my lord impute iniquity unto me, neither do thou remember that which thy servant did perversely the day that my lord the king went out of Jerusalem, that the king should take it to his heart.
Right. So Jerah was the one who was, I think, who was cursing David, calling him all kind of name and throw dirt upon him and fling stone and all kind of thing. And Joab and the men say, give who the order, make we go kill him now, man. And David said, leave him alone. Basically, I deserve it. Leave him alone. All right. Continue.
Canada 1 Con, verse 20. For thy servant does know that I have sinned. Therefore, behold, I am come the first this day of all the house of Joseph to go down to meet my lord the king.
Right. He was in the northern, what later became the northern kingdom. Right. Okay. What is it? I think Jerah was a Benjamin. And Shimei, the son of Jerah. Sorry, Shimei. Shimei is again. Shimei is from the house of Saul, you know, so he would be a Benjamin.
God.
It depends, you know. Could also be a Joseph, Joseph. But anyways, I think he was in the land where he would have become the northern kingdom at the time. So when he went over now, he come first and bow down and beg pardon and said, let's forget that thing, the man. When me not curse you and thing, I know some wrong still, you know, just forget it, man. Let not the Lord impute iniquity unto me, neither do thou remember that which thy servant did perversely the day that my Lord the King went out of Jerusalem. Continue.
Canada 1 Con, verse 21. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, answered and said, shall not Shimei be put to death for this, because he cursed the Lord's anointed?
All right, so Abishai now want to find something within the law that could put Shimei to death.
Yeah.
All right, so you curse the Lord anointed. That's a death sentence. Continue.
Canada 1 Con, verse 22. And David said, what have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah, that ye should this day be adversaries unto me? Shall there any man be put to death this day in Israel? For do not I know that I am this day king over Israel?
Right. Why should I go and kill anybody? I'm back at my throne.
God.
I am king again over Israel. So why you want me to go and kill people now? I don't need to do that, man. Continue.
Canada 1 Con, verse 23. Therefore the king said unto Shimei, thou shalt not die. And the king sware unto him.
Right. So the king saying, nah, thou shalt not die. And give him his word. Say, nah, we're not going to do that. 24.
Canada 1 Con, verse 24. And Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king, and had neither dressed his feet, nor trimmed his beard, nor washed his clothes, from the day the king departed until the day he came again in peace.
All right. So in other words, Mephibosheth now did not. He did not become a kept man. He left his hair to grow while his hair, it's about the feet, dressed his feet.
Yeah.
You know, say toenail, and some toenail they were overgrown and foot one wash and all them thing. Now wash his clothes, dirty clothes. From the day the king departed until the day the king came again in peace. So Mephibosheth, well, this looked contrary to what the news that Ziba brought to the king at the time.
That may I say, can. I look like him a mourn, no? Can.
Exactly.
Can.
He was mourning for the king. But Ziba said that, tell the king that Mephibosheth glad say you're gone.
Yeah.
Right, but here is he now dressed as a man in mourning. So what is happening now? Read on.
Canada 1 Con. Select. Verse 25. And it came to pass when he was come to Jerusalem to meet the king, that the king said unto him, wherefore wentest not thou with me, Mephibosheth?
26.
Canada 1 Con, verse 26. And he answered, my lord, O king, my servant deceived me, for thy servant said, I will saddle me an ass, that I may ride thereon, and go to the king, because thy servant is lame.
Right. So Now, Mephibosheth word kind of look more true because here is he dressed as someone in mourning.
Okay.
So I say, why you never come with me, Mephibosheth? Him say, Ziba, that my servant Ziba deceived me. Tell me, say, more saddler ass because me lame so that he can go meet the king. But
Okay. Okay.
him go and leave me. And 27.
Canada 1 Con, verse 27. And he has slandered thy servant unto my Lord the king. But my Lord the king is as an angel of God. Do therefore what is good in thine eyes.
All right. So Mephibosheth tell him, slander me to you. You know, carry bad news, false report against me. But you're like an angel. Do whatever suits you. Whatever is good before in your eyes, do unto me.
God.
28.
Canada 1 Con, verse 28. For all of my father's house were but dead men before my Lord the king. Yet didst thou set thy servant among them that did eat at thine own table. What right, therefore, have I yet to cry any more unto the king?
What right, therefore, have I to yet cry any more unto the king? I said, all my father's house. Oh, my father's house were dead men before you, anyways. So, yet you set me among them that did eat at their own table.
God.
What right, therefore, have I to cry any more unto you? I mean, here I am. Do what you want, please it down. 29.
Canada 1 Con, verse 29. And the king said unto him, Why speakest thou any more of thy matters? I have said, Thou and Ziba divide the land.
All right. Why speak more? Why speak anything unto me? I've given my order. Continue.
Canada 1 Con, verse 30. And Mephibosheth said unto the king, Yea, let him take all, for as much as my lord the king is come again in peace unto his own house.
But Mephibosheth said, hey, don't make him take everything, man. Since as him done soak me up before you, obviously him did want it, so make him go on. 31.
Canada 1 Con, verse 31. And Barzillai the Gileadite came down from Rogelim and went over Jordan with the king to conduct him over Jordan.
Gileadite, okay. Continue.
Canada 1 Con, verse 32. Now Barzillai was a very aged man, even 80 years old, and he had provided the king of substance while he lay at Mahanaim, for he was a very great man.
All right, so this man Barzillai now was a rich man.
God.
So while the king was in exile, he also help feed the king and all the people who went down to the king.
God.
Now, this is something which happens in not only our kingdom, but other kingdom. Whenever a king is overthrown or, enemies come upon him, force him from his throne, people who is in support of the king would still be gathering to the king. Obviously, you know what for? For instructions. We're going back for the throne or what? And what are we doing? So this was how it was. But this man now, Barzillai, was an old man. Barzillai now feed the flock and couldn't go and fight. So he fed the flock. And now here is he again standing before the king after the king come back to Jerusalem. Continue.
Canada 1 Con, verse 33. And the king said unto Barzillai, Come thou over with me, and I will feed thee with me in Jerusalem.
Right. So the king now telling him to come with him to Jerusalem. You know, boy, you know, I'm good man, you know, you stood by me. Come to Jerusalem, no man. 34.
Canada 1 Con, verse 34. And Barzillai said unto the king, how long have I to live that I should go up with the king unto Jerusalem?
All right, Barzillai said, I don't have long to live, you know. Because he was, what, 80 years old.
God.
How long do I have to live for me to come and up to Jerusalem? I could all dead on the journey. It's not for me to come up to Jerusalem. Continue.
Canada 1 Con, verse 35. I am this day 80 years old, and can I discern between good and evil? Can I serve and taste what I eat or what I drink? Can I hear any more the voice of singing men and singing women? Wherefore, then should thy servant be yet a burden unto my Lord the King.
Right. So I can't do anything. I can't even discern good nor evil again or whatever. I'm just coming to Jerusalem to be a burden to you. So tell you what, it's best you go without me. Continue.
Canada 1 Con, verse 36. Thy servant will go a little way over Jordan with the king. And why should the king recompense it me with such a reward?
Continue.
Verse 37. Let thy servant, I pray thee, turn back again, that I may die in mine own city, and be buried by the grave of my father and of my mother. But behold, thy servant Chimham, let him go over with my lord the king, and do to him what shall seem good unto thee.
Behold, thy servant Chimham. Let Chimham go over with you and be of service unto you. I am too old for this thing. Go on.
Canada 1 Con, verse 38. And the king answered, Chimham shall go over with me, and I will do to him that which shall seem good unto thee, and whatsoever thou shalt require of me, that will I do for thee.
Right. Whatever you require of me unto Chimham, I will do. 39.
Canada 1 Con, verse 39. And all the people went over Jordan, and when the king was come over, the king kissed Barzillai and blessed him, and he returned unto his own place.
Now, this is how you know that these Arabs and so on is our history, our scriptures that Muhammad, that so-called, that false prophet Muhammad,
God.
found our history in Jerusalem, and after we had left Jerusalem and copied it. But they don't understand it because they are over there now. When the Arab they meet each other, they kiss. They want
God.
they kiss one another with the cheek. Now they don't even understand. And this kiss right here is just the name that was given to the salute that we did to each other.
God.
We dap up each other, we embrace each other, knock shoulder. Has nothing to do with putting your mouth on no man's jaw.
Right.
But these Arabs, they come and they read this. What it says, it says, what verse we at? 39?
God, sir.
Right, so the king kissed Barzillai.
God.
I said, oh, so the king was kissing man. So let me do it too. But that's how it goes. Copy taker. You ever see some people copy and then copy even the name of the person who they copy from?
God.
Yeah, that the Arabs, them man. Copy and understand too, them man. This is what they talk about Sharia law. Their interpretation of our laws is what they call the Sharia law, you know.
God.
Right? Not even knowing that the interpretation that you should be executing on the people is the interpretation that given from Christ,
Right.
not according to the Old Testament. All right. 40 now.
40, cancer. Verse 40. Then the king went on to Gilgal, and Chimham went on with him, and all the people of Judah conducted the king, and also half the people of Israel.
So the king went on, and this man now, younger person than Barzillai, named Chimham, who the king said, take him is a job Barzillai give Chimham now, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, like how we ought to know. We don't mind if we could have get such privilege out here, man. So young man and there, man, 2 young man here, 3 young man. Carry them with you and kind of say work that Chinam get right there now.
Okay.
Right.
Big work too.
Big work too.
Okay.
I'm next to the king.
Okay.
And room and board, food and boarding included. Overhead expense taken care of.
God.
Right.
Gun. Verse 41. And behold, all the men of Israel came to the king and said unto the king, why have our brethren, the men of Judah, stolen thee away, and have brought the king and his household and all David's men with him over Jordan?
All right. So this is the rest of Israel now, you know, speaking unto the king. And say, sorry, speaking unto the men of Judah, as I want to take away the king and carry him over there, so.
God.
All the way over Jordan. And we over here waiting. 42.
Another one, verse 42. And all the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, because the king is near of kin to us. Wherefore then be ye angry for this matter? Have we eaten at all of the king's cost, or has he given us any gift?
Because we are Judite and the king is a Judite.
God.
Why you think him give a gift or him feed with? Nah. Here we are. The king is next of king to us, so we carry him go meet Judah first. 43.
Another one, verse 43. And the men of Israel answered the men of Judah and said, we have 10 parts in the king, and we have also more right to David than ye. Why then did ye despise us, that our advice should not be first had in bringing back our king? And the words of the men of Judah were fiercer than the words of the men of Israel.
All right, so you see what happened here now?
Yeah.
The king just gained back the throne, going go about greeting the people, and pardoning people because you get back the throne. So all who did join with Absalom really and truly deserving of death.
God.
But David forgiving them.
God.
But the rest of Israel now get vexed with Judah. Take the king can go over Jordan there, so. We are 10 parts in Israel, not only 1, 2. It was only no. Why they say they are? Why did he say them are 10 parts in Israel? That's what it said, right?
Cancer. I think they were the not.
Hold on. He said we have 10 parts in the king.
God.
Huh?
Salakia.
Right. We have 10 parts to the king, and we have also more right in David than thee.
God.
So in other words, they are telling Judah, the king is king over the 12 tribe.
God.
Here we are as Israel, being 10 parts.
Okay.
So we have more rights to the king, to the throne than you. That's basically what he was saying. But why, right? So my question now is why him say we have 10 parts in the king?
I think Judah was Judah and Benjamin. When you do the math, so when you work it out, I really Judah and Benjamin would be 2, so them would have be the rest of tribes now would have be work out to 10.
Right, because our inheritance was tied onto
Judah.
Was next door to Judah. Over next side of the Jordan, and so we couldn't really split. That's why when they used to war so much, we and Judah, many wars. But here now, you have these men now saying we are 10 part in the throne. But this is the thing with Judah now. When you say you're being king over when Christ walked the earth and Christ was king over all Israel. Even though he said, you know, when you go out to preach, to carry the gospel, after and prepare the disciple, and it's time for them to go out, you know, it says Judah first, which means them 2 tribes who was within the kingdom, because the northern kingdom is gone already.
Yeah.
But this was even back here in the scriptures, this was the kind of thing where help split the kingdom to them.
Yeah.
In a way, it helped split the kingdom because Judah was the kind of tribe that they are. Not remembering that, you know, try and act for all 12 tribes rather than just for you and Benjamin. Or for yourself. Right? So these arguments now that came about here, you know, you shouldn't have. But also remember this too. When the Moses, when God did send Nathan to David and to punish him, one of the punishment was that the sword shall not depart from your house. You understand? So the sword not departing from his house. Rebellions, that, you know. That's rebellion upon rebellion. All right, so David in this chapter now pardon his enemies, but was that unlawful? David did all that because David understood the law, given Leviticus 19, verse 17 to 18.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
Right. So David did a lot of this when that brother there, right? Again, the one who were cursing and now him come and beg pardon.
Jerah.
And the others, Jerah.
Yeah, I think so, Slacky. Not sure.
Right. Whatever his name was. When the rest of the men around David said, "What shouldn't this man be killed for cursing the Lord anointed?" David correct them and said, "Nah." Because David understood what was happening with him. Just that David can come before him and say, because me kill you, Raya. Why all this thing happening? He couldn't do that. So if he just hold him punishment, he was being punished in front of everybody, but if he just hold it like a man, you know? So you understand, he was correcting the men around him, saying, nah, you going to put your hand on this man. You bring sin on your head, don't you? Verse 18.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
David, this is what David was doing when he was pardoning all the men who went against him. He was not bearing grudge against, you know, this is one of the things. This is why women most time, you know, you put them, you don't put them up front in leadership.
Good.
Man, they carry on for you.
Right.
Right? If it had it been a queen, and they get the opportunity now to kill all these men, what do you think would happen? Just cut off their neck, man.
Yeah.
And yet, that is only women who do that. You have enough men who would have done so.
Good.
But David was not ruling according to the flesh.
Good.
David understood his role, and he was ruling according to the spirit, according to how the Most High lead him, according to the laws. And our law say we should not bear any grudge against each other, but we should love each other.
Good.
And this is one of the big problems in Jamaica today, why we have so much killing. We are not able to remove grudge against each other.
Good.
Right? Somebody do a man, you kill my people, you kill somebody for me. And for the rest of my life, I'm seeking revenge.
Good.
You ever hear this saying, well, it's not, like I said, it's not only women, but these men out here too, and I'm speaking mainly for Jamaica here. This is what we need. This is one of the laws we need to put in our being, that we should not bear any grudge against the children of our people. And this is one of the things that politics has taught us here in Jamaica.
Good.
You speak to the old stalwarts in any one of the parties, right? And you look at the deep grudge, the deep hatred they carry for a next black man like them, a next Israelite like them, but is of the other party.
Good.
Right? And this is one of the things that is, and obviously that was what the oppressor wanted, divide and rule. Because in dividing us, if something should come up, you know, and we as black Israelite people, you know, come and we look and we see who's going to benefit from this. And we look and we say, oh, all right, who in party now? Who in power now? JLP, right? And we look and say, oh, are them socialists that go benefit? No, sir, we not do that. And they throw aside those policies that would make their brother benefit.
Good.
Right? And who end up being the beneficiary? Them other nation.
Good.
If the policy come about and when they look, they see the white man, the Chinese man, the Indian man, they don't see politics that time, you know. They don't see politics that time. What they see? They see a Chinese man, they see a white man. Right. They say, oh, make him go on, man, he can't get it, man. Not knowing that you are playing right in the hands of the oppressor.
Good.
But your law say, don't carry grudge against you, and all you do is just be a taskmaster over your people. You in politics, you know, why you don't try to be a taskmaster over the other race team? Be a taskmaster over all right across the board. But no, the only people you can fight against is your own people.
Right.
That is over. So how you going to stop the crime with that? Can't stop the crime.
Good.
Never stop the crime. All right. This is why when Beauty Queen went in politics, you know. From the moment Beauty Queen went in politics, the first thing you want to do is be a leader, you know.
God.
Yeah, because obviously you see the politics and see how it goes. You have a sea of black people. Them not choose none of them to be leader. Because the thing done set from in the late 70s to 80s. And prior to that, Rock Stone said way back before that. But well, it set from down in slavery time, but a time was there that you could make some change, but the pendulum swing back. And what happened? What you have is we fighting against each other while the other races rise on top. Not seeing that is not as so much a political war, but a racial and tribal wars.
Okay.
That's what is happening here in Jamaica. Can you talk about, you shoot out it, you kill out PNP, you kill out labor right. You never kill a white labor right. You never kill a white PNP. You never kill an Indian labor right. You never kill an Indian PNP. Who you kill? You're Israelite, brother.
God.
Breaking our laws. Not to say that you should go and kill them. You shouldn't be killing anybody, you know.
Right.
But you have it in your mind that if you're going to kill somebody, he's the one who look like you. This is how deep our self-hate running.
God.
Deep self-hatred we have against each other. But it wasn't so. That was never so, because here you have now David going around and pardoning those of his own people. If there was self-hate, what do you think David would do? Kill out all of them, go outside who raise hand against him. Right?
God.
Give me now Matthew 22.
Canada one can.
Starting from 35 to 40.
Canada one can. This is the book of Matthew chapter 22, verse 35. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him, saying, verse 36, Master, which is the great commandment in the law?
But this is Christ now when a Levite, or in other words, a lawyer,
God.
one who was over the law, asking Christ a question. In like when you tempt somebody, as if you had taught somebody. So tell me something now. Him now, I'm saying big in the law. So tell me something now. Which one is the commandment you think is the greatest? And what did Christ say? 37.
Canada one can, verse 37. And Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
Right. So the greatest commandment you can ever have is to love the Lord God.
God.
Because if you love God, you won't be keeping Christmas, you won't be celebrating Christmas.
Right.
You wouldn't celebrate New Year. You wouldn't celebrate Easter. Right? You wouldn't be a grudge against your brother. You wouldn't eat pork. You wouldn't eat shell food.
Right.
When you talk about seafood, fish not included.
Right.
Seafood. Anytime you hear they talk about seafood restaurant, it's shell food they're talking about, One bag of nastiness, squid and octopus and shell food and all kind of thing.
God.
Except the fish, which is the one might have fin and scale.
God.
Right?
God.
The real thing that you should be eating.
God.
So Christ telling them, love the Lord thy God. 38.
Canada one can, verse 38. This is the first and great commandment.
39.
Canada one can. And the second is like unto it. thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right. So David was doing this, loving his neighbor as himself. And here now is David, great-great-grandson, YAHANNA, Jesus, the Christ. A white man tried to cut his cut away his father. This is how much the oppressor hate the black man, you know. That even if you come to the realization that you are Israelite, you must still only believe that Christ did not have an earthly father. Christ, Joseph, the black man, was only a stepfather to him. This is how much your oppressor trying to rob you of everything that should be yours. Right? So Christ was teaching the men at that time that they should love each other. Right as David was this was what David was teaching by pardoning those who raise hand against him. And not only say those who raised hand against him, but those who came to him and was sorry for what they did. Because if they weren't sorry for what they did, there was no pardon. Just like how if you not sorry that you committed a sin against the Most High and ask him for forgiveness, what kind of forgiveness you going to get? You sin, you know your sin, and you don't ask for forgiveness. You think the Most High going to forgive you? You have to ask. Matthew 18 and 21.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times?
So Peter now had a brother blood brother, keep doing wrong against him. And Peter said, you know, let me go to Christ and see counsel from Christ. So he asked Christ, how often shall I forgive this man? This brother keeps sinning against me. 7 times? Right? And Christ said,
verse 22. And Yahweh saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
Not 7 times, but 70 times 7. So in other words, always forgiving. All right. So this was what David was executing. David understood what was happening spiritually, because he himself, when he sinned against the Most High and killed Uriah and do all them wickedness, he was deserving of death.
Right.
But the Most High said, no, I'm not going to kill you, but you're not going to go unpunished. But I believe it's just like your child. Those parents who talk about they love their child so much that they can't even punish them. They don't love the child.
Right.
If you love the child, you can't spoil him. Correct him. He or she. All right, take me back now. Back to Samuel. Next chapter. 20. Second Samuel 20.
20, sir. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 1. And there happened to be there a man of Belial, whose name was Sheba, the son of Bichri, a Benjamite. And he blew a trumpet and said, we have no part in David, neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to his tent, O Israel.
This man now, this Benjamite here don't want to lead a rebellion now against this, because you remember they were there having this argument.
Yeah.
We have more part in the king than you, Judah. You take the king can gone over your side, so. And they were talking and talking, but Judah argument prevailed. So this man now named Sheba, who was just a son of evil doings, said, I thought we don't have nothing to do with it. We don't have nothing to do with you, know. Yeah, hear me? Israel, it will have no come. Right? And move Israel from that point. There's another rebellion brewing right there, you know. But you just remember, the Most High said in punishment to David, the sword not going to depart from your house because of what you do here. All right, verse 2.
Verse 2. So every man of Israel went up from after David and followed Sheba, the son of Bichri. But the men of Judah clave unto their king from Jordan even to Jerusalem.
Right. The men of Judah. So Judah stood with the king. They said, this is the struggle, and this is the struggle even until now, you know. All your oppressor play it out, and they play it out through politics.
God.
Here we have those who are of the northern kingdom and those who are of the southern kingdom against each other. So you see in Jamaica, how they know who you be now. This is how the two-party system come about up on the roof. Yeah. This is how the two-party system come about, you know.
God.
The northern kingdom, the southern kingdom. PNP, JLP. Democrats, Republican. This is how they play us against each other. The Crips. Our the next one name?
The Bloods.
The Bloods and the Crips. Yeah. The two of them aligned to the political party. One is Democrat and one is Republican. And they are gunslingers in the hood. Controlling, slinging guns over blacks in America there. And here now, this is the rift between us. But this is what, when Christ returned, all these rifts will be mended.
God.
Can't continue always. For you to have peace on earth as is prophesied will happen when Christ come, then all these rifts amongst his people will have to disappear also. All right, so verse 3.
Verse 3. And David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the king took the 10 women, his concubines, whom he had left to keep the house, and put them in ward, and fed them, but went not in unto them. So they were shut up unto the day of their death, living in widowhood.
So these are the women of David's wives, the concubines. These were his women. But remember, we have wives and concubines. Concubines is a wife also, but you know, of a different stature.
God.
So this man now, this concubine now that he had left, when he fled, he left these concubines to take care of the houses.
God.
And his son,
Absalom,
slept with these concubines in front of everybody.
God.
Now, even if he had done it in private, David, by our law, David could not go back to these women. What let me see if we can find that. If we can find that law. Go again. If the woman, remember how it goes.
I'm trying to find it, sir. So, Deuteronomy 24:4, sir. So,
Right, Deuteronomy 24. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24. Let me see what it says.
start at verse 1. So, okay, sir.
All right. Laws concerning divorce. Deuteronomy 24, 1 to 4. You can read.
Canada one can. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24, verse 1. When a man has taken a wife and married her, and it comes to pass that she finds because he has found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. Verse 2, and when she is depart out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. Verse 3, and if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorce and give it into her hand and send her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife. Verse 4, her former husband which sent her away may not take her again to be his wife. After that she is defiled, for that is abomination before the Lord. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance.
All right, so there you have it. They were defiled by Absalom.
Gone.
Okay. They were defiled by David's son.
Gone.
So what David did when he returned, he couldn't make them his wife again until the day they die. They are defiled. He could allow them to go and marry another. They don't understand that. He could have allowed them to go and marry another, but he didn't do it that way. What he did instead, he made them a widow until the day they die. In other words, they were still in the king's presence, enjoying all the privilege of being a king's wife, except for the king laying with them.
God.
So they were getting, they had all other privileges, except for that part. So he said, oh, David took the 10 women, you see most of them, their name, Absalom, screwing for that 10 women.
God.
Put them in ward, meaning that he still have them, feed them, but went not in unto them. So in other words, they, plus, you know, it, in a way, you have some shame in face, in them facing the society too. Because everybody know what happened. Just as how the Most High saying, I ain't gonna punish him openly.
God.
Everybody knew what happened. So in a way, you know, I'm taking shame out of them face. I mean, even if you would allow them to marry, which nobleman, which man would take them as wife? Right? So that's how it is. That's the life that they are to live now. They are still in the king's presence, being fed, clothed, sheltered, everything by the king, but no more stick for them, you know? No more rod.
God.
Their rod is done. If it's like today now, you could probably buy one for them.
God.
But those factory wasn't around yet. All right, so that's that. Next, we finish Deuteronomy. No, we don't finish law of divorce.
Salakia, we read up to verse 4. You want more?
Read, no, 4. Right.
God.
Because in 4 it says, "Thou shalt not cause the land to sin." So this is even if those 10 women was young, you know, thick as sexy ass girl where David might love. Him, if he should go back to them, he will be causing the land to sin.
God.
And if you remember how the Most High punished while we were in the land, you know, famine, drought, you know, things like that, pestilence take over the land and them things there when you sin against the Most High.
God.
So it's best if he had many other wives. Just park them one day. All right, go back to 2 Samuel now, verse 4.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 20 and verse 4. Then said the king to Amasa, "Assemble me the men of Judah within 3 days, and be thou here present." Verse 5.
Right, so he turned to Amasa and tell Amasa to assemble, go around and assemble Judah to me within 3 days.
God.
And be present right here. Didn't tell him what was that for. Just assemble them and be present here in 3 days. Verse 5.
Verse 5. So Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, but he tarried longer than the set time which he had appointed him.
All right. So Amasa stayed longer than 3 days. The king don't know we know say Amasa not there. Verse 6.
Verse 6. And David said to Abishai, "Now shall Sheba the son of Bichri do us more harm than did Absalom." Salakia, sir, I have some technical difficulty. You know what I mean? He will be back shortly. So we just have to continue reading. And when him come back in, you know what I mean, just Make him pick up back where he left off. All right. And David said to Abishai, now shall Sheba the son of Bikri. So, okay.
Hold on. Read back 6 again.
Canada one can. Verse 6. And David said to Abishai, now shall Sheba the son of Bikri do us more harm than did Absalom. Take thou thy Lord's servants and pursue after him, lest he get him fenced cities and escape us.
Right. Abishai, shall Sheba the son of Bikri do us more harm than did Absalom? Remember what Sheba did? Sheba blew the trumpet and said, "We don't have nothing to do with them right now. Come and show him who have the power. Walk well left him."
Okay.
And the 10 tribe move leave David. So him said, tell you what, we're going for Sheba, you know, because Sheba shouldn't do this. You move against the king.
Okay.
You're setting now, you're fitting now to do more harm than what Absalom did. All right? So him tell Abishai, take thou thy Lord's servants and pursue after him. Take these men and go and pursue after Sheba, lest he get him fenced cities and escape us. No, this is, you see, this was David, you know. David move. If you remember, this is when going after the wizard, not the Lord anointed, you know. The only enemy that raised up against David, and David allowed them to prevail, was Saul. And Saul was the Lord's anointed. All right, continue.
Canada one can. Verse 7. And there went out after him Joab's men, and the Cherethites, and the Pelethites, and all the mighty men. And they went out of Jerusalem to pursue after Sheba the son of Bikri.
Verse 8.
Canada one can. Verse 8. When they were at the great stone, which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them, and Joab's garment that he had put on was girded unto him, and upon it a girdle with a sword fastened upon his loin in the sheath thereof. And as he went forth, it fell out. So, verse 9. And Joab said to Amasa, art thou in health, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him. Verse 10. But Amasa took not heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand. So he smote him therewith in the 5th rib, and shed out his bowels to the ground, and struck him not again, and he died. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, pursued after Sheba, the son of Bikri.
All right. So why you think they do this to Amasa now? Amasa, the king said, use 3 days, and him take longer than 3 days.
Okay.
So, you know, him look shaky.
Okay.
You define the words of the king. This is a point in where the king now struggling to maintain his power.
Okay.
And you come now define the king. The king give you an order and you take longer than you should. All right? And
Okay.
there's no explanation as to why you took so long. So Joab understood military order. But all the most, all the Bible, all it is written in the scripture, you know, is as if he came up onto the sword that was in Joab's hand. But that's not it. They kill him because him take longer than him should. Get a death sentence.
God.
Amasa by the beard with the right hand to salute him. But Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in his hand. And the sword smote him under his fifth rib and killed him. All right, him not dead yet anyway. Verse 11.
Canada 1 can. Verse 11. And one of Joab's men.
Put them at the king.
Canada 1 can. Verse 11. And one of Joab's men stood by him and said, He that favoreth Joab, and he that is for David, let him go after Joab. Verse 12.
That is what? Verse 11.
Verse 11. Cancel.
Right. He that favoreth Joab and he that is for David, let him go after Joab. Because this man here now, Amasa, was not moving right with Joab or with David. Verse 12.
Canada 1 can. Verse 12. And Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the highway. And when the man saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the highway into the field and cast a cloth upon him when he saw that everyone that came by him stood still.
Yeah, because they don't know. As far as they know, Amasa is a man, is a big captain among David. Okay. What's the meaning of this now? You kill him right there in front of you and then I tell yourself to follow you. Anyway, they move him to the side and cover him. Continue.
Canada 1 can, verse 30. When he was removed out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue after Sheba, the son of Bichri.
14.
Canada 1 can, verse 14. And he went through all the tribes of Israel, and to Abel, and to Beth Makkah, and all the Berites. And they were gathered together, and went also after him.
Right. Went through all the tribes of Israel and to Abel, to Beth Makkah, and all the Berites. They were gathered together and went also after SHALAM, after Sheba. Continue.
Canada 1 can, verse 15. And they came and besieged him in Abel of Beth Makkah, and they cast up a bank against the city, and it stood in the trench, and all the people that were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down.
So they found the city that he was, and they came up against the city, getting ready to tear down the wall to go in. Verse 16.
Canada 1 can, verse 16. Then cried a wise woman out of the city, Hear, hear, say I pray you, unto Joab, Come near hither, that I may speak with thee. Verse 17. And when he was come near unto her, the woman said, Art thou Joab? And he answered, I am he. Then she said unto him, Hear the words of thine handmaid. And he answered, I do hear. Verse 18. Then she spake, saying, They were wont to speak in old times, saying, They shall surely ask counsel at Abel. And so they ended the matter. Verse 19. I am one of them that are peaceable and faithful in Israel. Thou seekest to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why wilt thou swallow up the inheritance of the Lord?
Right. So this woman now, this is when these women nowadays now who take on to themselves to be, you know, some loudmouth black women, whether they are in the inner city, you know, what we call the garrison, or they are in uptown, or they are in some upscale neighborhood.
Okay.
Being a loudmouth black woman, they take heed how women be wise. What the woman saw, what this woman saw was that that this city was gonna be thrown down. What verse we reach again?
20.
She saw that the city was going to be thrown down because of one man.
Okay.
Right? So he talked to Joab and said, you're going to destroy the whole of our inheritance because of this, because of why you're going to destroy our inheritance. Joab said, far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy the city. That's what 20, so 21 now.
Slovakia, we were up to 21 when 20, we never read it. Slovakia.
Huh?
We never read 20, we did just reach 20.
Sorry, 20.
Yeah, so. All right, verse 20.
Right, read where you reach.
Cancer.
When I hear so good, I feel, you know, we have a little disturbance.
Yeah, man, I realize. Slovakia, sir. All right, verse 20. And Joab answered and said, far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy.
So Joab is saying, no, it's far from me that I should swallow up or destroy the city. Right?
Okay.
That's not what I'm here for. 21.
Canada one can, verse 21. The matter is not so, but a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri, by name, has lifted up his hand against the king, even against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto Joab, behold, his head shall be thrown to thee over the wall. All right, Salakia again, you know what I mean, sir, I have some technical difficulties with the Wi-Fi, so I'm supposed to come back in shortly, you know what I mean, so so until him come back in, I'll see him come back in again, Salakia. Salakia, sir. First, read back 21.
Hold on. I'm not seeing you coming up on the screen.
Okay, Salakia.
All right. So you should read back 21. Yeah, read back 21.
Canada one can. Verse 21. The matter is not so, but a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri, by name, has lifted up his hand against the king, even against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto him, it a break up. You hear me, sir?
All right, you come back now, man. What's the question? Sir?
No, man, me that read a while ago.
What?
Me ask if me a
What
break.
are you saying?
No, me that ask if me a break up. You hear me? Slovakia. All right, sir, I have some signal problem. All right, so I just wait till him come back in again. No, I mean, it seemed like the weather kind of affect the signal. But you know what I mean? All right. So now go continue reading verse 21. The matter is not so. So this is Joab saying the matter is not so. Him never come for destroy the whole city and kill off everybody, you know what I mean? But a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri by name, has lifted up his hand against the king, even against David. All right. Yeah, hear me well, sir?
Yeah, you're in a better now.
All right, yeah, man. All right, read back 21 again, right?
Yeah, read back 21.
Verse 21. The matter is not so, but a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri by name, has lifted up his hand against the king, even against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto Joab, behold, his head shall be thrown to thee over the wall. Slakia.
Right, so this woman, she's wise.
God.
Sheba, the matter, Joab saying that the matter is not so. A man of Mount Ephraim, not that's the northern kingdom, Sheba, son of Bichri, by name, had lifted up his hand even against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said, his head shall be thrown over the wall unto you.
God.
Right, so this is an influential woman in that city.
God.
22.
Verse 22. Then the woman went unto all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri, and cast it out to Joab. And he blew a trumpet, and they retired from the city, every man to his tent. And Joab returned to Jerusalem unto the king. Verse 23. Now Joab was over all the hosts of Israel, and Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the Cheretite and over the Peletite.
All right. Let's go to you have your Zandavan with you.
Cancer.
Let's see if we can find Cheretites and Peletites. Man, like terribly that's one. A B C C H. All right, so what just happened here now is David removing a man who could lead another rebellion against him. So once the people hear that, who had followed him when he blew the trumpet and marched away everybody, once those people hear that David killed him, man, I think of following him again or following anybody to lead against David again. All right.
Find Cherethites, cancer. A Philistine tribe in South Palestine, from whom David drew his bodyguard, commanded by Benaiah.
It's a Philistine tribe.
Okay.
All right, so these were, so the Cherethites were other persons. So look for the next one now. The Cherethites were Philistines serving within Israel. All right. Now, this is a good example to bring out to the Christian. Now, you remember the Italian band in the time of Christ. Right. So the Cherethites were Philistines who were serving among us in the time of David, from which David drew his bodyguard. At the time now when you have Christ, David's grandson, biological grandson from the line of David, when he was having, in the time of Christ, you had the Italian band who was, we know, serving under the Roman militarily. It was a military group under the Roman. The Cherethites. You find the next one is on Perethites.
Cancer, Pelethites, a group who, along with the Cherethites, formed David's bodyguard, perhaps as the meaning of their name suggests. They were the ones who conveyed the king's message to distant places.
So they were messengers. So they were the ones, you know, we never have a mail system like now. Where you go and you mail a message, or you take up a phone and call somebody, or you know, send an email. It's not like now. Then, sorry. When the king had a message to convey to a distant place or even a near place, once the king have a message to convey, it was done by physical man, either running on foot or on horse, carrying the message. So that was the Pelethite. So the Cherethites, the bodyguard, the Pelethite is messengers. And who was over them? Not another nation, but Israelites. So these were servants, handmaids unto us. All right. So where we are, that was what, 21.
That was 23. There are 24 and
right. Right. So Joab was over the host of Israel. Joab over the army. Benaiah, the son of Joiada, was over the Cherethites and over the Pelethites. So he was over the other nations that were serving under us. 24.
Verse 24. And Adaram was over the tribute, and Jehoshaphat
was over the money. The tribute was the taxes, right? And Jehoshaphat.
And Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, was recorder. Verse 25. And Shiva was scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priests. Verse 26.
So the scribe, Shiva the scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar the priest. So the scribe was in the temple, but the recorder now looked like he was in the thing there, among the king. Writing down from the king while you write from the scribes were writing from, because I remember when Christ, we had the scribes, ain't it? But we did not have any recorder because there was no king. But the scribes were still there, making writings of what was taking place in the temple at those times. Right. So this now was the body ruling over Israel. You had the king, you had the Joab, the top general. You have the man who was over those who were servants as serving as the king's bodyguards and the king's messengers. You had the man who was over the taxes, and you have the man who was the recorder, the man who was a scribe, and the man who was a priest, and the one who was chief ruler. So the chief ruler now was one who you could go to. Ira also, the Jairite. You can look for Jairite. Jairite. Search for that one.
Okay.
Let me see that here. Right, it's important that we in the UPK, as men in the UPK, understand how our rulership in the past was, how we were able to govern ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, we're taking from the Bible as to how we can realign our nation until Christ come, because when Christ come, he's gonna set it the way he should be set. But at the same time, while we are organizing ourselves, that's how we have generals and captains and officers in the truth, because we have studied how we used to assemble and organize our nation. You find it?
Salaki, I may not see it, sir. Salaki.
I realize I don't see it here either. J-A-I.
Okay.
I don't see no.
Jair.
Come again?
No, we say Jair, but we don't say Jaira or Jaira.
It's Jairus.
Okay.
Jair. No, that's the only J-A-I-C. Let me see something. You see Jairus in yours?
Cancer.
Okay. Let's spell J-A-I. A gyrite. You know it's gyri though. It's the same one,
As in what the Christian them like to say.
What, Jehovah Jireh? No, man.
Okay.
The same one that you see in the Bible dictionary. J-A-I-R.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's about? And Ira also, the Jairite, was a chief ruler about David. All right, so Jairite would either be, I don't think it would be Jairus. All right.
It would be the sons are the children of Jair.
Huh?
The
son
Jair.
of Manasseh.
Yeah,
leading warrior in conquest.
So the Jairites would be his descendants.
Could be. They were rulers.
Okay, come.
He's also a Bethlehemite and the father of so and so, who slew Goliath, the father of Mordecai. Alright. It's like Jairus. Jairus is a synagogue ruler.
Okay.
Who Christ raised from the dead. Okay, so it's not that. Right, so it's Jair. That one. This one now is a ruler. Jairite.
Okay.
Also the Jairite. So maybe this one is a descendant of Manasseh who became a chief ruler.
Okay. Yeah, hear me, sir?
Became a chief ruler. Yeah.
Okay, come.
You hear me?
Loud and clear.
Continue.
Canada one. Salakia, read 26. Read 26, right?
Oh, that was 26 now.
Okay. Canada one, verse 26. And Ira also the Jairite was a chief ruler above David.
All right, so Sheba now became a rebellious. What's it now? All right, go to 1 Samuel 15 and 23.
Canada one can. Canada one can. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15,
Yeah.
verse 3. Salakia, you say something, sir?
Where are we? 2 Samuel 20. Yeah, man. Right. 1 Samuel 15 and 23.
Canada one can. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry.
All right. Yeah. Rebellion is as you can cut it right there. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. This was why they killed this man here. Her name Sheba.
Okay.
What risk witchcraft does? Deceive the people, don't?
Right.
So every time you rebel against God, you end up deceiving more and more people.
Okay.
That's the way it is. Can we touch this? All right. Basically out of time. Questions?
Okay. Question.
Question, young one.
Yeah. What is witchcraft?
All right, young one, say what is witchcraft? All right, let me see if we can find. We generally mix it up out here with what they call out here obia. Obia is a kind of witchcraft, but witchcraft is not obia.
Okay. So witchcraft.
Yeah, I'll explain.
Okay.
All right, you have, you ever hear about witches?
Witch.
Yes.
And yeah, like a witch. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You ever hear about wizard?
Wizard. God.
So, witch is the woman and the wizard is the man, right? All right. We have Christians out here. What does Christians do? What you call the religion which they practice?
Religion.
Christianity.
Christianity.
All right. What you call the religion which the Muslim practice? Islam.
Islam. Oh.
Well, witchcraft is a similar thing. It's like a religion. And what they practice is called a craft. And it is called witchcraft. All right. Let me say now, if you look in the dictionary, it will tell you now the practice of magic, especially black magic, the use of spells. I don't know why they don't call it white magic too. Oh, you know, you have white magic.
Yeah.
but this is how deep the oppressors' racism run, you know.
God.
Ever have a white magic?
God, it's supposed to be good
magic.
Slakia.
All right. What is the Officer Kayadon?
It's supposed to be good magic, Slakia.
Me hear it's supposed to be. Me don't hear anything else what they say.
White magic supposed to be good magic. Them say, Slakia.
Oh, you said good magic.
Yeah.
All right. So you have black magic. I have white magic.
God.
When they work, the same witches in witchcraft, you know, when they work it to harm people and so they call it black magic.
God. Yeah.
If you work it now to better yourself or uplift yourself, they call it white magic.
Yeah.
But which in way, you should not be, it's still witchcraft, you know.
God.
You should not be working either.
Right.
The Most High is not with any of those.
So if you work witchcraft is abomination.
It's an abomination, it's a sin.
God.
So it's a practice of magic, especially black magic, the use of spells. Children and goods were believed to be vulnerable to the witchcraft of the jealous neighbor. All right, in modern context, religious practice involving magic infinity with nature. So this is why in the UPK we say Christianity is witchcraft.
Yeah. Silakia, sir, I have some technical difficulty again. Give him a second to come back and stream. You know what I mean? I break down witchcraft. You know what I mean? While like the video. You know what I mean? If you have a question, type it in the chat. You know what I mean? Subscribe to the channel. Share around, you understand? You know what I mean? So give sir a second, I'm gonna come back on stream. All right, so sir was basically breaking down what witchcraft is, and as he was explaining, the Christian church is witchcraft. You know what I mean? What a witch does is to deceive. You get what I say? So all these religions, they are witchcraft. You know what I mean? Muslim, Rastafariism, that is witchcraft because it deceives the people. You understand? And especially, you know what I mean, with what they do, you know, them usually, well, with Rastafariism and with Christianity, they tend to use music a lot. You know what I mean? Which a general breakdown the other day that some of the music are especially designed to change the emotion of our people. You understand? To bewitch our people. So it's basically, you know what I mean, in the Christian church, when they think they are feeling the Holy Spirit, what they are really feeling is the effects of, you know what I mean, someone creating music to change their emotions. And in the Christian church, they think that that's the Holy Spirit when it's just witchcraft. You understand? So as the other one was breaking down earlier, witchcraft is basically deception. So he's back on line now. He's going to break it down more perfectly. You know what I mean? Slakia, sir, when you hear me, sir?
For how long?
About a minute, 2 minutes. So
All right, so what was the last What was the last thing I was saying?
Yeah, it was about to break down that Christian and Muslim was witchcraft.
Oh, witchcraft. We're talking about witchcraft.
Can.
Right?
Can, sir. Yeah, man. Can.
Right. So we were saying that witchcraft is hello?
May I hear you loud and clear, sir? Loud and clear.
Okay, you manipulating circumstances to your benefit,
right.
like what Christianity does,
right.
Muslim, Rastafarian, religion in general.
Okay.
But the strongest witchcraft you can feel now is that Christian church.
Right.
That Christian church don't tell you that you are an Israelite.
Okay.
Don't tell you are an Israelite.
All right, so the weather kind of rough, you know what I mean? So it a chip out the signal. So
The word.
The word?
Yeah.
The word not evil.
Okay. People.
That is the act.
The act, okay.
That make it, that would put the evil on it. The fact that they are trying to deceive you, to lead you away from your true self.
Gone.
Yeah, gone.
What is your true self? You're an Israelite. Why you don't have the right to know that you're an Israelite? Tell me.
I have the right to know, but I don't know.
And then we turn around now and say, boy, the amount of jacket we're running amongst people. The same thing it had a race to do with we and the Most High. They are denying us of our true Father, who is the Almighty God. Right? So you go to church, you sing, you jump, you clap, you praise God. You don't know say you're Israelite. You don't know that you are the chosen one.
Right.
The sufferation that you're going through, they don't tell you that it is the curses that is in the Bible. Okay. They rather tell you that you know people don't like you and all them things that make you end up going to Obia man.
Okay.
Right? So this is witchcraft. They actually pretend to lead you to God, but they're actually leading you away from God.
Right.
Lead astray. What they tell you? Christ is for everybody. All right, salvation is for everybody. So what the white man needs salvation from? He know him a rule the world. So what kind of salvation they need? What the word salvation means what?
To save.
Comes from the word from salvage. So if you salvage something, it means that you take it from a lesser state to improve it because something gone wrong with it.
Okay, like I was solve a problem.
Right. You're going to all right. What the Afghanistan experienced the other day was like salvation.
Gone.
Not righteous salvation like we are experiencing, but the Americans provide salvation to those who are possibly going to face some trials from the Taliban. And America and the other European nations help send in planes and retrieve those people. That is salvation. So when Christ coming now, we don't have nuclear bombs. We don't have no army that is able to shake this earth, right? Sure. But the other nation does. And their armies is going to break out, that they are going to shake the earth to destruction. There's not the earth itself they are going to destroy, the environment, right? Terrible destruction to the environment. What about us? We don't have any nuclear bunkers underground to go to and hide.
Right.
Every nation that have nuclear weapons have bunkers to hide. So then drop the bomb and they go underground, food, everything under there.
So bunkers are under the ground.
Yes.
Okay.
Nuclear bunkers.
So when nuclear drop, them now get no damage.
They won't get damaged. Where me and you go? If we go underground and dead, we dead. Means they dig a hole and put you under there. Right?
God.
So, who need to be salvaged from the destruction that is coming?
We.
The Israelites.
God.
The Chinese have them nuclear bunkers. Japanese have. Down to North Korea have. Because they have nuclear weapons. Every nation that have nuclear weapon have bunkers because they know the destructive nature of the nuclear weapons. So they make sure them build.
So they know the disaster it will create.
Of course. They don't test and see it, man. So what do? They put
and use them around.
That's what it's for.
Okay, come.
Right. Those cities were made to use or to be inhabited when there is a nuclear war. But most of them, what they do now, they have shopping centers and so under there that is utilizing, making some money. I remember I saw some pictures of some cities that some places that Russia have underground. Man, they're prettier than the one up top. Beautiful, not tell a lie. Beautiful. Right? Now, who need salvation is not, it wasn't built for us. If they are treating you like this up here on the earth, where you can't drive in peace, police, like in the States, you don't have a good day in court. A lot of the things that happen to blacks in court is like something could have really go so. No law can go so, right? But it happened. So who need salvation from all those things? The Christian church will tell you, oh man. But at the same time, billions of dollars out there and everything. Who need to be in charge of the earth and achieve and to share in the heavenly goodness of the earth? They don't tell you all, man.
Israelite.
Which Israelite? No, the oppressor.
Okay.
You don't share in the glory.
God.
But they are going to tell you that they should share in your salvation.
Okay.
When the Americans went into Afghanistan, who were they salvaging? Afghanis.
God.
They weren't salvaging any other nation. Just Afghanis who were working with them. Right? So who is Christ coming to salvage now? The people on earth who is doing his work now.
So the oppressor don't like the Israelites then, all right?
That's why he put you in slavery. It wasn't you and other races went into slavery. It was just you. So you go in slavery, you don't need salvation. But when true salvation coming now and they preach the message of salvation, they tell you Christ is for everybody.
Right.
They can preach what they want to preach. You know as Israelite have to know better. And don't follow that doctrine. If you follow that doctrine, you are, because you go and get locked out of the bunker, you know. If you're even going there, you're going to be sorry you're going there because you're going in there to be slave. You don't get the feeling that they're going to be an equal footing as the oppressor in there. No, you're going in there, you're going to be slave in there. So to prevent that, just before the war starts, the Most High will come in, will send his son to salvage you. That's what all salvation is about. So witchcraft is now the white man designing that religion now to prevent you from getting your salvation. Because your salvation is his destruction.
God.
Him understand that much. Which is why he is the way he is in regards to how we deal with him. Well, the most I make him that way too. But in these last days, him being so rich and yet being so evil against you, that's because he knows that you being salvaged, him see it in the 400 years when I'm done, and even after slavery, him realize that every time black people who he had enslaved start to get good economic growth, was a time when his economy among his people was faltering. So he realized that if the people that grow, it means that they are going to fall. Because Wall Street, Wall Street started among us. Yeah, Wall Street did come from what you call Black Wall Street. You heard about it. All right, any other question? That answers a question about witchcraft?
God.
Something that you should not meddle in. It's not of God.
God.
All right. Any question from you, Officer Kayron?
Last, sir.
All right, with that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Kayron.
All right, clap it up.
Clap it up.
All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are to be selected. They are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to a treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, that is the Feast of Purim, that is the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, which is February. This is on February, Monday the 14th of February, and Tuesday the 15th of February. You can find the Feast of Purim in the book of Esther, chapter 9, and verse 20 to 31. Reminding Akiam and Akwatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say Imadium, which means to stand. Sarlapanya Akwadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Aya.
Aya.
Chanka.
Aisha.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwatka.
Didn't get that one.
Silakia. Malakwatka.
Lahakwayam.
No, Salakia. Malak Watka. Yeah, hear me, sir?
No, we're not hearing.
That was Malak Watka. Salakia, the signal cut out the sound, sir. Salakia. Yeah, hear me?
Yeah, go on again. Go on again.
Yeah, man. Malak Watka.
The man come through clear a little while. I don't hear anything after that.
Malak Watka.
Malakwatka.
Taba'a.
Taba'a.
Ratazaka.
Patazaka.
Aya.
Aya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Rataza.
Barataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Aya.
Aya.
Bashamayam.
Bashamaya.
Nafan Lanawa.
Natan Lanawa.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Kal.
Kal.
Yawam. Yawam. Salakia. All right, but just going to continue with the prayer. Salakia. Yawam. Wasalakla nawa. Kawabwat nawa. Kasalak nawa. Kawabwat yanawa. Wala'a. Tabaya anawa. Salakia, sir. You hear me?
Yeah. Tabaya Nawa.
Okay. Banasaya one.
Banasaya one.
Abba.
Abba.
Our shine hour.
Our shine now.
Maya.
Maya.
Rai.
Right.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Amalakwa.
Amalakwat.
Wa'ala.
Wahahala.
Wa'ataparat.
Watapaharat.
La'aiwalamiam.
La Iwalamiam.
Ama.
Amen. In English, our Father which art in heaven,
Our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Slack, yeah. See if we can get Sir for come back here. Slack. All right.
The kingdom come, thy be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done as in earth as it is in heaven. Slack, yeah.
Say our daily bread,
Give us this day our daily bread,
and forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom and the power
For thine is the kingdom and the power
and the glory forever, so be it.
and the glory forever, so be it.
All right, this is the prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of
and
heaven
all things living.
and all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
in the name of Yahweh,
listen to us now,
listen to us now,
right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses and punishment
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction. You're back, sir.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to Eden
to the Eden
that speak against us,
that speak against us,
thy prophet,
thy prophets,
the teachers,
teachers,
the princes,
princes,
the priests,
the priests,
the princes,
princes,
the priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers and the school.
the Israelite brothers and the school.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Eden
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to Eden
and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel
and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel
that refuse to give to the school.
that refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the Edomites and the nations,
to the Edomites and the nations, to the Edomites and the nations,
the court system,
the court system,
the prison system,
the prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the governments of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Comitazi.
Posse Comitazi.
The gay movement.
The gay movement.
The lesbian movement.
The lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet and the airways.
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 Cable access channels.
Cable access channels.
And the radio channels.
And the radio channels.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people.
That seek to stop us.
That seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction.
And bring swift destruction.
To all the heathen.
To all the heathen.
That stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words.
That stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
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 Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague shake.
Let the plagues shake.
The house of the thief and the murderer.
The house of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahawashai, Michael, and Gabriel.
Let Yahawashai, Michael, and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathens.
And punish all the heathens.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That it is the angels that hath done it.
That it is the angels that has done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahawashai, thank you always, so be it.
In the name of Yahawashai, thank you always, so be it.
Prayer for the power.
All right, this is the prayer for the power. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Ba'asham Yahawashai.
Baba Kwasha.
Baba Kwasha.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathan Lanawa.
Aka.
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 Lara Pa'a.
Lara Pa'a.
Kal Makala.
Kal Makala.
Wakal Madawa.
Wakal Madawa.
Aka.
Aka.
Lata'ar.
Lata'ar.
Amatazarayan.
Amatazarayan.
Aka.
Aka.
La Aquaya,
La Aquaya.
Amathiam,
Amathiam.
Aka,
Aka.
Irakawa,
Irakawa.
Atamala,
Atamala.
La Garashan,
Garashan.
Basham Yahawashai,
Sham Yahawashai.
THAWADAH man.
THAWADAH man. English. Yahweh in the name of Yahawashai.
Yahweh in the name of Yahawashai.
Please give us the power.
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 To heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
To heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out in the name of Yahushua.
To cast them out in the name of Yahushua.
Thank you, so be.
Thank you, so be it. All right, the prayer for the blessing in the Hebrew. Salakia. All right, this is a prayer for the blessing in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Basham Yahushai.
Basham Yahushai.
Barak Salakia. Barakla now.
Barakla now.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Waha. Bayatsaparian.
Bayatsaparian.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'a.
Rapa'a.
Magan.
Magan.
Agan.
Hagan.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
The generals.
The generals.
Captains.
The captains.
Officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
The young men and the sisters.
The young men and the sisters.
Basham Yahushai.
Basham Yahushai.
THAWADAH man.
THAWADAH man. In English, what you have just said, Lord, in the name of Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushai, thank you so much.
All right, Sar, which means to turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Imadium Shabbat. Imadium. Barak. Yahweh Basham Yahushai Barakatah.
Yahweh Basham Yahushai Barakatah.
Yadamata. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel. Imadium Shabbat. Imadium. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Basham Yahushai. Yadamata. Class dismissed.
All right, to our online viewers, remember to fill in the attendance sheet. And remember to go to ISUPK.com, pay your tithes, like, subscribe, and share our videos, YouTube, Facebook. And we say, share. Share. Shalom.
In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel, who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, would suffer slavery,
coronavirus, a global pandemic.
we will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for ISUPK Jamaica. Shalom.